Welcome to Wake Up Riverbend. It is time. We're going to have some fun. It's about to go down. Let me bring in my bestie real quick. She's a little bit better looking version of me. Hold on. Katie.
Hey, Adam.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm really, really good. Are you as excited as I am?
I was going to say Adam is really excited for this. And yes, I am. I'm excited too.
It's been fun. Hey, this has been a long time waiting. So tonight we're going to set some ground rules. We're gonna share our vision with our community and our friends watching from all over the place on why we're doing this show and a little bit of details on what's to come. So first, let's start by saying that this show is for this community of the Riverbend. What we're trying to do is we're spotlighting super achievers and entrepreneurs, up and coming entrepreneurs, super achievers in our community that are making change. So Katie and I, we've had this project kind of on the low for a while, and together now we've put this together. So Katie, what we're going to do tonight, I've decided, and you and I kind of planned, but I'm going to kind of throw a curveball at you if you're cool with that. Are you good with me kind of
changing be Adam if there wasn't a curveball? It wouldn't be Adam if there wasn't a curveball, for sure.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by loving on my bestie here, Katie. I want to share a little bit about who Katie is, why she's the perfect co-host, and how this is going to be a brilliant project together. First of all, I have met a lot of super achievers. I'm on a plane almost every week. I travel all over the country. I meet with people from all walks, all types of businesses, and I have not met anyone. Is your head going to get bigger here, Katie? I have not met anyone as talented as my friend Katie. Katie is, let's just list this. She is married to an amazing man in Jake Shear. She has an amazing little boy, Quentin. She is a doctor of chiropractic. She has a master's in science and sports rehabilitation. She has a master's in science and nutrition. She is the co-owner and founder of Shear Chiropractic and BioID Clinic. And you know what? You also play in a band. Let me ask you real quick, how do you find time to do all this, Katie? Like really, how do you make this work?
I like to be busy. I've always liked to move. I'm not a sitter. I like to make things happen and try different things. I don't like to be bored. So it just works. It works. I have a great supportive husband, like you said, and he helps me, co-parent so well, and we both can work and have extracurricular activities, and it's just awesome. I'm very fortunate to be where I am in my life at this point.
You come from a family with some pretty deep business roots, right? So how many generations? Can you take us back and tell that story a little bit, if you would?
So my dad's side is from Alton. My maiden name's Drake, and my great grandpa, Sid Drake, started Drake Tire down on Broadway. It still has the Drake Tire sign there. Then my grandpa, Bill Drake, owned it after that. And my dad, Rich Drake, worked for my grandpa and then decided the tire business was not for him. And he went off and opened Nautilus Fitness Center. And he also owned a physical therapy center for a while as well. Nautilus is still in operation. He owned it for 25 years, never touched a computer, by the way, which is hilarious. And sold it in 2007, retired in his 50s. And so I'm number 4th generation here. And that was not something I really thought about as a younger person, aspiring to be a chiropractor. And then as I got into business, I really thought, man, I really want to own my own, and just kind of cool to carry on a legacy, I guess, in our town.
I love that. I love to see the generations as they continue to go. And, maybe Baby Q will be a young little entrepreneur. If I'm betting, he probably will.
I'm thinking so too.
Tell me, chiropractic, because that's a commitment, going to Logan, sure. That's a lot of school, that it's intense. Why did you choose chiropractic? I mean, at what age and when did you come up with the idea that I wanted to be a chiropractor?
Yeah, it's, I grew up loving science. I had a high school teacher, John Walters, who was awesome. And I've heard so many people say that they chose science because of that teacher, which is super cool. I went to Marquette High School, and I went on to college and knew I wanted to do something with science, and was a biochem major. And I thought, what am I going to do with my life? I'm either going to go to med school or be a dentist or a chiropractor or PT. And I thought about it, and I grew up going to the chiropractor. My parents took us there when I was 2 years old, was, when they started taking us, and we were kind of always an alternative medicine kind of a family. We didn't do a lot of, doctoring unless we had to. And my dad liked to shove supplements down our throats that we hated as kids. And, so I kind of just grew up with that idea of trying to improve your health first. And chiropractic seemed to be a way that I could do that. Chiropractic is not just about, popping backs. We do adjustments, but my husband and I are very, very focused on nutrition and rehab and the endocrine system and hormones and all those things. And I knew as a chiropractor, I had the scope of practice to be able to touch a lot of those things, and also to be free of a lot of control that some, medical doctors feel from hospitals or other big corporations. I knew that I could be more independent as a chiropractor, and it's really been exactly what I hoped it would be. I'll pay a student loan till I die if I can do this job. I love it.
It's not cheap. And now let me ask you this, because, I've followed you. I've been close with you for several years now. And I mean, you're an incredible musician. Like, listening to you sing is literally, it's like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. Like, it's almost perfect, right? So when did when did you decide to get in and start playing and doing all that? When did that start?
Gosh. Well, let's see. Drunk at a karaoke bar in Hillsborough, Illinois, town of, not very many, and there's 20 people in the bar. And I sang a song and everybody's like, man, you can really sing. And I'm like, okay, I sing in the shower. And so, me, I don't get embarrassed very easily. I'll try anything once usually. And so I ran into Steve Schwagel. He's a physical therapist here in the area, and he has the Glendale Riders, and they're probably the most popular band in this town. They've been around for over 15 years. They've got some amazing musicians. And I said, hey, I'm gonna try out for your band, because they didn't have a girl singer at the time. And he said, do you sing? And I said, sure. And he said, all right, we'll come to practice. I was like, oh shit. Okay. So I go to practice, and I was terrible. And they threw me up on stage at Fast Eddie's like 2 weeks later. Didn't even know what any of the equipment was. And that was about 7.5 years ago. And there's another guy in the band named Jeff Bensman, and he's really kind of taken me under his wing and been my mentor for music and taught me the ropes and helped me improve. And it's awesome. I love it. I love seeing people react. I love being out there just doing what I love to do. And I never really knew that I loved it until I tried it. So it's kind of fun. You never know.
Yeah, well, it's been fun following your journey. And I'll tell you, and I'll share this too. For those out there watching, and even those that come in on the replay, please show us some love. Sharing is caring. Share this out. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be sharing some really great information. We're going to be highlighting and spotlighting super achievers, and you're not going to want to miss some of this stuff. So let me just say this about Katie. I couldn't think of anyone else to do something like this with, but let me just kind of rewind like 4 or 5 years ago. I was in a place in my life where I had to make personal decisions. I had to change some things. I was kind of running with the wrong crowd, not doing things I was super proud of. I knew I was destined for more, and I had to make a decision to reach out and start spending time and doing life with people that are doing great things. I'll never forget, I'm on a train on my way home from Chicago, and your husband's is up in my DM, and he asked me out on a date. We went to Mava. we went to Mava's, right? And then so after that, we all went out one night and hung out. I remember, okay, the first time I ever hung out with you, I was like, you're me. I know a couple of things. I can tell we're going to be best friends, but we can only hang out with each other for 2 to 3 hour time limits. And then we got to skedaddle. So
that's enough about me. So let's go talk about you now too. That's a good transition into you. So I met you 4 years ago, and I remember the first thing my husband said is, I have this new friend. It was funny. I have this new friend, and I don't know if you're going to like him or not. And I said, well, why? And he said, well, he's really hyper. He's a lot like you. So I said, well, all right, I'll meet him. And I met you, and I thought you were awesome and very motivated. And, if you need a confidence boost, go hang out with Adam Marburger, because he will definitely boost your confidence for you. But, Adam has 3 beautiful girls, gorgeous girls, and spoils them rotten as he should. He is a best-selling author. If you have not read his book, what's it called, Adam?
I'm not going to use the curse word in case my mommy's watching.
Okay.
but it's You're the Effing Problem. It's a guide to
All
get out of
right.
your way. I kind of recommend it. Shameless plug.
Check it out. It's an easy read. I really enjoyed that book because I don't like to read. I actually hate reading. And I bought it and I thought I'm going to read this because it's Adam's book, and I really enjoyed it. And I went through it very quickly. And, it kind of just brings you back home to think about, okay, what is motivating me? What do I need to stay focused on? What do I need to just forget about? And you need those constant reminders, especially in business, just to kind of get rid of the crap and just keep on ahead. And that's what that book does. So if you haven't checked it out, it's on Amazon. We can post the link later. But anyway, check him out. He is also 40 under 40 for the automotive industry, which is amazing. So congrats on that. He's always going somewhere speaking, different countries and all over the US speaking to F&I. He has a couple different businesses, but one of his main businesses is Ascent Dealer Services. And he focuses on the, finance and insurance part of that and helping dealers better, keep their F&I departments up and making money. And so tell us about your other businesses too, Adam.
Well, I mean, here, I am kind of a personal growth junkie. And, and I say that I'm a gigantic work in progress. So my recent company is Marburger Coaching and Development. I've got a lot of coaching clients online. That is my speaking business. I'm doing a lot of speaking. I'm doing more speaking than I've ever done now. And I'm doing a whole lot of little support groups, small groups, large groups, one-on-ones. I'm all over doing that. And I get the absolute best feeling when I can help somebody see what they didn't see in themselves. And so that's kind of what I live for. I live to help people just grow a little bit more every single day, And I'll tell you what, Katie, you and I, when we started talking, and, we need to address something real quick. Okay. We need to address the title of our show. We had a lot of different ideas, and originally it was going to be a morning show. And the title originally inspired me a couple of years ago, a guy that has changed my life, actually, a guy by the name of Grant Cardone. Most people know who Grant Cardone is. If you don't know who Grant Cardone is, you need to look him up. The guy's a beast in business. Well, he was on Undercover Billionaire, and he had this morning little, it was like a social media. There was something they were doing in the town of Pueblo, Colorado, and they had Wake Up Pueblo. And it kind of stuck with me. And it was kind of a morning thing. Well, when you and I were talking, we wanted to use the term wake up because we wanted our community to wake up and look in front of you. Wake up and look at the beauty and the rich history that Alton, Godfrey, Jerseyville, this Riverbend area, wake up to the opportunity that's right in front of our face. So that's why Katie and I, I have a lot of people asking me, what's up with Wake Up Riverbend? It's not a morning show. This is a show for us to just wake up, be more self-aware, be more humble, be more grateful. And I'm going to tell you this about Alton. And, for those that meet me out of town all the time, they know I brag so much on this beautiful little river town. So when I'm on the road and I'm traveling from last week, I was in LA. Next week, I'll probably be on the Northeast from Chicago down to Florida. Every single trip I go to, when I get back home and I get in my car at Lambert and I drive over that Clark Bridge and I look at my beautiful little river town, I mean, I'm at peace. I'm in love. There's nothing like taking that little stroll down the Great River Road. I mean, I am so blessed and honored to live in this town. And that's why Katie, and I'll let you kind of allude on that a little bit, that's really what we're trying to do. We're wanting to focus on our beautiful little community. We want to serve this community. And we want to highlight and spotlight those making a difference in this community.
There are so many businesses here that people don't even realize are here too. And I've experienced that as a business owner. Like I just found 3 new local businesses to help me in the last probably 6 months doing anything from asphalt to making signs for us, And so that's another thing that we want to do with Wake Up Riverbend is for new business owners, entrepreneurs, we want to help connect you with other business owners in our area. So you're not outsourcing, you're shopping local. You are utilizing what we have here so that we can grow and continue to grow. We don't have a whole lot of industry in Alton anymore, unfortunately, but there is so much room for expansion in business here. It's just incredible. And so we're seeing lots of things go up, especially Godfrey Walmart area. They're starting to really develop that. Glazebrook Park is amazing.
Yes, it
What
is.
they're doing out there. It's just, I'm so excited about this. So, I want people that live here to think, I can make it here. I can do something great here too. There are opportunities here. And so if we can help connect other business owners in this area, network them together, and you don't have to just be a business owner. You can also just be someone who works for another business and wants to help that business grow as well. You're going to get information here too. And so, this first show we're talking about ourselves, but we're going to be bringing all kinds of different business owners on this show week after week. We're going to have different types of businesses, different ideas, and people that you can connect with and talk to even after the show. Hit us up. Hey, can I get this information for that person you had on the show? Or, if you need a mentor, Adam and I are here. We had talked about, advice for the future, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I would say that's one of my biggest pieces of advice. You got to find a mentor. If you want to do something in business, you got to find somebody else who's done it either good or bad, and either take what they've done and make it better, or, use some of their skills as well to help you build yours.
Yep. And I say this all the time to people. I prefer innovation. I'm not trying to invent anything. I want to innovate. I want to take somebody that's doing something really well. Let's see if I can amplify, enhance.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, you hit the nail on the head. And let's make this really clear to the audience. You don't have to own a business. Okay. If you're making a difference in this community, if you love this community, if you like to serve, if you like to connect, if you genuinely want to see people win, those are the type of people Katie and I are going to be, highlighting and spotlighting on this show. So let me ask, Katie, I'm going to kind of throw something at you real quick. All right. Think about your business career here. Tell me, let's talk about your chiropractic firm. Share a couple setbacks along the way. I know it's not, you guys are doing well. I know you're doing great numbers. You were booked, and more booked, but it wasn't always that way. There were seasons, I'm betting, they were pretty dark. So share if you don't mind. I like us to get vulnerable. Share the bad. What happened along the way, and where'd you get knocked down, and how'd you get back up?
So I think probably my husband is very much, we always say he's the thinker and I'm the doer. And he has been wanting to be out on his own since day one. And, we get out of school, we have student loans, we wanted to buy a house. And I was like, no, I want a set income. I want to work for somebody. I want to be an associate doctor. And so we both did. We became associates, and it was a great learning curve, mostly about what we didn't want to do because it was a high volume insurance practice. And we realized very quickly that insurance was not something that we wanted to deal with. And so, that was something that we probably stayed in too long. We probably stayed there too long. And I will say that is absolutely my fault. Jake was ready to go out and spread his wings, and I was just too scared. And I would say that is probably a downfall of mine, is I have trouble with change. I hate updates on phones, keep it the same, quit updating my Gmail. I can't find anything. I like to have consistency, and it's hard sometimes as a business owner to see the bigger picture, to see the new stuff. My dad owned a gym for 25 years, and everything was going to 24-hour and digital check-ins. And, he didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And so he was luckily at the time he could get out. But, as things adapt and change as a business owner, you have to adapt and be willing to change as well and learn. And so I think some of our setbacks come from not changing as quickly as we should have, number one. And then number two, thinking we needed more than we did. We started out in Jerseyville because we had a non-compete clause. And we kept Jerseyville. Jerseyville was an extremely busy practice, extremely busy. I was booked there all the time. People were calling 2 and 3 weeks out. But I also had another busy practice in Godfrey, and we didn't need the double overhead. And we kept it for 2 years, hoping we could find another doctor that wanted to go in there. And it just never worked out. And so that was definitely a setback. A lot of stress for no reason, some monetary stress that didn't need to be there. So I would say, really sit down and crunch your numbers, look at what you have, be real with yourself, what's stressing you out, get rid of it. If it's stressing you out, get rid of it. And I think that those are probably our biggest, setbacks in business.
Now, you brought up the word a minute ago, you used the word stress. And, in our businesses, and you and I talk often, there's a lot of seasons of stress. I mean, here are sometimes daily. what is something you do? Like, what can you share with the audience? Like when you're freaking stressed out, like
Mhm.
what do you do? Is there a ritual or a thing that you do to help kind of bring that stress level down?
Well, music is definitely an outlet for me. I mean, I have, I play guitar and harmonica, sing, and that is definitely an outlet I have found. It used to be working out, and I still do work out, but I kind of got really burnt out on that for a while, and so music is kind of my new outlet. I don't like to watch TV. I just don't. I never have. I don't like to sit unless I'm doing something, and so music for me has been an outlet for stress. The other thing I do is get organized. If I feel I am just completely out of control and I come to work on Monday and there's 37 post-its on my desk that weren't there when I left on Friday, and I'm like, okay, I need to get myself organized because when I get to work, I'm busy basically from the moment I get there to the moment I leave. I don't get breaks. I don't get a lunch break. And so I have to find time to get these things done. And so after Quentin goes to bed at night, I have my time to be by myself and be organized. And I will sit down and I make lists. And I still love paper. I hate computers. I will paper, write everything down, make lists, organize my thoughts. And that always has helped me de-stress.
Can I share something with you, Katie? Don't go anywhere. I live by these. Okay. So let me share.
Yeah.
So you talk, I have to share this with you. So I'm a pretty stressed out individual, kind of like you said. And this is good for people to hear too, because there is something so special about a legal pad and pen. And when you can sit down, and when I'm stressed, I'm going to piggyback off that, because when I'm stressed out, what I have to do is I have to take a couple deep breaths. I'll typically say a short prayer, and then I'm going to reset, refocus, grab the pen and paper, and anything and everything that's bothering me or things that I need to handle, I just write it down. And there's something so satisfying about the next day when you start crossing everything off that
Yes.
list, right? So that is something that a lot of people, I mentor a lot of people that they don't use these enough. And I'm telling you, it is one of the best tools. And with me, I'm a psychopath. Like my brain doesn't. I'm going to talk to you about TV. You say you don't watch TV. I went 10 years and never watched TV. Okay. I haven't,
Yeah.
The last 10 years of my life until about a year ago. So my girlfriend, Sylvia, she likes watching TV. And I'm like, I'm out. But what I have found lately is that is the only thing that really takes the world away from me. I don't
Yeah.
think about Alton Family Martial Arts. I don't think about Ascent Dealer Services. I don't think of Marburger Coaching and Development. I sure as heck don't be thinking about real estate. I'm not thinking about anything when I'm watching that show. Now, I don't sit and watch 2-3 hours, but it'll be one show a night. And right now I'm hooked, and this show's 10 years old. I've been watching Suits. It is freaking amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So that is an area though. So Katie, I went without TV for so long, and now it is the legit one thing that can take my mind. I'm going to do a quick couple shout outs real quick. We got Cindy in here. Nice to see you, Cindy. Jane, my favorite stepmother. Jane, we got Trevor in the house. We'll
Jane's
get to
awesome.
talk. He's a real estate stud in the market. Here we got Jim Van Mikitis, Michelle McLean. What is today? Thursday? Happy Thursday. We got Anthony Santangelo. We appreciate you guys showing up. And yes, Cindy, Suits is freaking amazing. So let me change gears a little bit. So if you could give a young, could be and maybe even an older, aspiring entrepreneur, maybe this person has always had a dream or a vision, and they want to go out and start something new, what advice can you give to somebody in their infancy and their entrepreneurial walk?
I kind of mentioned that earlier, but find a mentor and find a good accountant. Unless you are an accountant yourself, there are so many things that you don't know about business, and nothing is ever as easy as you think it's going to be, whether that comes down to buying a house or whatever it is. It's never as simple as it seems. And that I found that, if I think this is going to be easy, it always ends up being multiple steps. So prepare for multiple steps. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait on things from the state, to get going, or business license or whatever, especially the way Illinois goes sometimes. So find a mentor who's done something. It may not even be something like you're doing. Like I have a friend her and her husband started a business last year, and we went out to lunch or a couple of years ago, and And I said, save 30% of everything you own. Whatever tax bracket you're in, just start there. Save 30% of everything you own. Use this bookkeeper. Here's an accountant I have. Oh, if you need this, find this person. So there's so many things that I have learned in the last 6 years only of owning my business. It's incredible to think that I even started a business from where I came from, of what I know now versus then. And so you don't have to know everything. You have people that will help you. Call somebody at your bank. Steve Thompson is awesome. We've used Steve Thompson as somebody.
Steve is the man. Oh, he's the man.
He's awesome. So, and he's helped us, he helped us through COVID with the shutdowns and those things as well. And so there are so many mentors in our community you can talk to. And if you don't know of somebody to connect to, reach out to Adam and I. Hey, do you know anybody that's involved with this? Or, hey, because I guarantee you, if I don't, Adam does. We could find you somebody that was willing to help mentor you and get you started.
Yeah, I will tell you that the mentor, mentors, and let's talk about how easy and accessible some of them are. So I remember years ago, I used to be apprehensive about, raising my hand, a little self-conscious about reaching out to certain people. I used to send Grant Cardone a video message every single week telling him I've got a great idea and I want to pitch it. Okay. I got to his assistant, Jared Glant. We talked a few times. I was persistent. There's a gentleman by the name of Eddie Pinero. At some point, I will be having him join us. Eddie Pinero is a guy that I used to listen to his YouTube channel during the darkest, dirtiest moments of my life. Listening to this man's YouTube channel inspired me and motivated me to just do more and more, and truthfully, just to kind of believe in myself. I reached out to Eddie one day. I friended him up on Facebook, followed him on the Instagram, and I remember just loving on him. And I told him one day, I was like, I want you to know that you have absolutely changed my life and at some level saved my life. I just wanted you to know how much I appreciate you. And if I'm ever in the market, at this point, he was living in Boston. I go, next time I'm in Boston, I would love to, take you out for coffee. And so long story short, he said, yes, we hung out in Fort Lauderdale 4 weeks ago. He's a friend of mine now. And the point to that story is you can absolutely raise your hand on a social media platform, share some love, share your love for that person, and just ask them. Because what happens is people become humbled. Like when somebody's in my inbox saying, hey, Adam, I really been following you. Could you maybe help me? Will you talk to me about this? If I have the time, I'm giving you the time. And it's somewhat humbling to do that. So my challenge for people out in Facebook land, do not be afraid to raise your hand. A buddy of mine, Chris Saraceno, he wrote a book, The Theory of Five. It's very clear. You are the sum of the top 5 people you hang around with. And, we're going to keep this broadcast, and here we'll lay some ground rules because we got about 10 more minutes of stuff that we need to go through. These shows are going to last about 45 minutes tops. Depending on who we are interviewing, they could go longer or shorter. But we want to make sure, Katie and we want to make sure that we drop a few nuggets. The whole idea here is for Katie and I to share something with you that you can take immediate in your life and make an instant impact, whether it's for yourself or your family, your coworkers, and your community, okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you. You are only as strong as the top 5 people you roll with, all right? I will tell you, if you are in you got to do a friend audit, look at who you're spending your time with. And you got to audit these relationships. And if these relationships are not serving you in a positive light in your vocation, your relationships, and your spiritual life, then you maybe need to not just clip the wings, but maybe you distance yourself and love these people from a distance. That's a principle that changed my life. When I started running around with people doing more than me, I started doing more. I'm going to say this one last thing. I'm going to shift gears here real quick, is strive to be the least talented person at the table. If you are always striving to be the least talented person at the table, you will find yourself leveling up by proxy. So that I can't stress that enough. And the one thing too is I gotta ask you a question, Katie, because you're a fitness nut. I gotta throw something at you real quick. you're into fitness, like you're in uber great shape. So like, let's just pretend for a minute. You could only eat one meal. So it's just this one meal. And for the rest of your life, you're getting this meal. What is that meal? I want to know.
Well, definitely beef rather than chicken, 100%. And probably rice. I love rice. And if you know me, you know I hate vegetables. So that's not in there. But I love salt.
Salt's good. Salt's good. Let me ask you this. What's your favorite restaurant in Alton?
Oh,
you may make some people mad. Hey, we're always going to be honest on this show. What's your favorite restaurant?
I have 3. Can I have 3?
You got to pick one. No. You pick one right now.
Oh, God.
It starts.
Okay, Gentleman's Bakers or State Street. One of those 3. I can't pick just one. I love them all for different reasons. We have we have good restaurants here. People are saying there's nowhere to eat. Well,
I said that for a reason. I asked that now, and I think most people know what my favorite restaurant is. What do you think it is? Guess.
Tony's.
You got it.
Tony's is good too.
The one thing we have about this beautiful Riverbend is the cost of living is good here. Our prices are fair. These restaurants, we have some just absolutely incredible restaurants. I was at Bluff City for lunch. Kathy's done a great job with that place. Max is always rocking. Baker's and Hale is money in the bank. Show me what you're working with. State Street's good. There's so many, Brown Bag. You got the Old Beer Bakery. We got world famous Fast Eddie's, Bonaire, so we're here. And that's one thing too, is even for my folks, our friends across the river, don't be too shy to drive over here. And I'll tell you right now, there's nothing like coming over on a Saturday or a Sunday, starting out at Fast Eddie's and taking a nice little cruise down to Grafton. I mean, you can't beat that,
Yeah,
Grafton's
awesome.
Let me do this. I'm going to ask one more question to you. I have to. All right. And then we're going to kind of wind this thing. All right. We're descending right now. We're descending. At the end of this entrepreneurial walk, your footprint on this earth, what you're doing, so many great things, Katie. And I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm so proud of you. What do you want to be remembered for? Like I just want to know, I'm sure the audience would say, what do you want your mark and your legacy? What does Dr. Katie Shear want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for someone who listened to you when nobody else would, because I get so much of that, especially women that come into me and they say, well, so-and-so, I went to this doctor, I went here, and they don't believe me, or they write my symptoms off, or they, whatever. And I don't want to do that. I saw that happen to my mom growing up, and she ended up, thank God, finding out what her issues were and is still doing great at, 72. And so I want to be somebody who will come to bat for you and help you figure out what you can do to make yourself the best version of yourself, based on your health. Because yes, I'm a chiropractor, but we do so much more with the nutrition and hormone balance and endocrine, all this stuff. And if I'm not the right person for you, I will find the right person for you, because I am not the right person for everybody. I saw this lady at Raging Rivers the other day, and she had this shirt on that says, I'm not for everyone. And I said, I was like, I love that shirt. And I'm not, you're not. Nope. And there's going to be people that you're not for. And the same thing goes with my business. But I just hope people feel like I helped them get what they really wanted out of why they were coming to me. That's my goal.
I love that. That was super well stated. I love that. Here's what I know about business, and, just to kind of turn this into business for a minute. It's not easy. It's rewarding. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of dark, painful hours. But if you commit and you believe in yourself and you're willing to outwork everyone around you, you will succeed. I posted one of my private groups earlier. My story goes back to, when I was in high school. I had my counselor tell me that I would never amount to anything. It broke my heart. And, right after high school, I said, listen here, I'm going to show you. And so that was one of those things as a young child, that burning fire in my belly to prove people wrong. That was the young version. Now I don't have any competition. I'm my competition. I look at myself in the mirror every day and I say, hey, I'm going to get better today than I was yesterday. And I want to influence people in a positive light. So when I talk about business in this community, I will tell you, we're all in this together, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I love about this group that we're putting together. We started a page. I asked you to follow the page, like the page. Katie and I are going to be doing some fun stuff in that page. Probably a group to come. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things. Katie and I, we like to have a good time. We're not afraid of a good time, y'all, right? So this isn't stuffy business like suit and tie type stuff. We want to deliver best practices, tips, and techniques that you can go out and expand your business, enhance your business, go out and potentially start a business. Hell, you maybe want to get out of your business, right? Because there's a shelf life. There's times we want to get out, right? It's not all unicorns and rainbows, all right? And
Sure.
That's what I'm excited. Let's share with everybody what we have coming up. So our first guest, Megan and I, Katie and I said her name too early. Katie and I have got a pretty nice list, all right, already going. We've got some really cool guests lined up. And so one thing I want to say, if you are somebody that's making a difference in this community and you love to serve and you love to connect and you love people, Katie and I want to know you, okay? If we don't know you, get in our inbox. We need to know you. If you know somebody that's making an impact, that loves people, that loves to connect, please tag them, share them. We want to meet them too. So our next show is going to be July 14th. Katie and I, starting out, are going to do this every other week. We don't have the capacity at the moment to do it every week, but that could potentially happen. We're going to go every other Thursday. It'll always be Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. But our first guest is going to be Megan Fairless with Meggie Me Productions. Megan is an absolute rock star. She's a sweetheart. She's hilarious. She is an absolute ace at video production work. Her editing skills, she's a homegrown girl here in the Alton area, doing a lot of business here in Alton. What are your here? I mean, I think we both agreed she was the right one, right? I mean,
She's awesome. And I've seen her, on Facebook constantly, somebody gets married, it's Meggie Me, all this. And I'm thinking, who's this girl? Man, she's awesome. And then I got to know her through you and, another business connection. And yeah, she's so fun. She'll be a great first guest.
Yep. So, well, we're going to sound off with this. So first of all, thank you. Thank you for being patient. We started teasing this show about a month ago. We were able to get it ready. Today's the first day. Had a lot of fun, Katie. Thank you for sharing some of your stuff. And, I'm grateful to be one of your best friends. And I'm really excited about the level of talent that we're going to be able to bring on and expose and share and celebrate with our community. And I will tell you, for those that have watched and for those that are watching on the replay, I love you. I love you. Thank you very, very much. Any feedback, criticism, send it our way. We want to hear from you guys. We want to bring this community together. Katie and I, we both, when we sat at the table, we realized that there's a lack of real business leadership in this community. We're trying to bring a different level and a different level of flair. And it's about serve. How can we bring people together, lift up as a group? The strength is in the numbers, and we are absolutely committed to making things happen in this community. So with that being said, Katie, thank you for your time tonight. I love you. And
love you.
For everybody watching, thank you as well. And we will talk sooner than later. Peace out.
Share our show.
Share it. See you guys.